Good morning. Happy November. Welcome everyone to another episode of AKP Sports Talk. It is the 1st of November. Ari, how you doing? Obviously, it is a new month, so we like to reset the bankroll, reset the bank account, new month, new winnings. But first off, we're going to do a recap a little bit from yesterday. But first, how you doing as we get into this new month? Obviously, we've got Thanksgiving football, obviously around that, rivalry week as we get near the end of the college football season. And, yesterday we had our first college football ranking. So we kind of got to see, where the committee has seen these teams. We may talk about that in a little bit. But first, how you doing on this Wednesday morning?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Like you said, a new month, which is always a good kind of sort of called cleansing, if you want to call it that, for sports betting and new month. But yeah, looking forward to another month of, obviously fun sports. Hopefully, we'll talk about the World Series a little bit later. Hopefully, today isn't the last day, but I guess we can just get into your recaps. We both had Diamondbacks, which obviously was over by the third inning, basically. But you still had a nice 2-1 day, so you can talk about your bets from yesterday.
Yeah, obviously, look, Diamondbacks, it was over. It was over from the get go. It was just runs for that. I mean, it was literally the exact opposite of what we said. We said,
I didn't think they're going to put in Miguel Castro that early, and
yeah,
he is going to yeah. But
yeah, I don't know why they put Castro in that early. That just a ruiner for you. I mean, he has one of the worst ERAs in terms of that Arizona bullpen. So I don't know why they put him in so early, especially in a game where you kind of have to win. Maybe maybe they were thinking getting rid of him early, so they don't have to rely on him later. But it turned out to bite them in the butt. Diamondbacks were never competitive in this game until they started to come back a little bit, in the bottom of the eighth and ninth, just playing a little bit of catch-up game, trying to make the scoreboard a little nicer. But in the end, the Diamondbacks did lose last night. It was over from the third inning. I turned it off. If you guys saw the twice, and if you guys saw our Twitter, we saw that Trent Booker with Trent put money on the D-backs in that game, so we already should have known. I don't know why we didn't see that. That's on me, guys.
well, he bet on Texas in Game 3, and they won. So I mean, it's not like every
Yeah.
single time.
Yeah, but it's usually when he wins, the next one he loses, and I don't know. But besides all that, it was just never competitive from the D-backs. It was all Texas all game. Andrew Heaney did his best. He sufficed enough, but pretty much as soon as Corey Seager got that home run, and then Marcus Semien had that 3-run bomb, it was already over. So, and they were just piling on the runs early. It was already 8-0 on, and you just kind of knew that the Diamondbacks chances were slimming, as
It was 10-0 in the third.
yeah, and yeah, exactly.
The Rangers covered the over themselves by the third inning for the game. So that
Like going back to Little League, like they mercy ruled them. They mercy ruled them in 3 innings. Like what is this? So it was already over from the get go. But going to my other two wins, the Knicks Cavs under, like I said, going to be a very defensive game. That game finished at 200 exactly. Both of those, especially the Cavaliers, they struggled to shoot the ball. So I already kind of figured that this was going to be, a very defensive game. That's kind of how Tom Thibodeau likes to run his games, as the head coach of the Knicks, very defensive-minded head coach. And, that's just kind of how these two teams play basketball. So, great to see that under. Then the Toledo minus 14.5. I didn't see the weather. And then all of a sudden, 30 minutes before, I see the snowstorm coming in. And I'm getting a little nervous because I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know how Toledo can do in the snow, but they covered that with ease. As soon as I saw that kick return go the distance, I was smiling. I said, okay, we may have a winner on our hands here. And they finished 31-13, so that was a minus 14.5 win right there. So, I'll take it a nice 2-1 day. I even said forget about the Diamondbacks. That was just a bad look on our part, but I'll take a nice 2-1 day, especially on a very short slate. Ari, I'll let you do your recap from your Halloween best bets from yesterday.
yeah, obviously, like I said, I had the Diamondbacks as well, and but both of them. I mean, first of all, it's crazy to think that two teams that made it to the World Series don't have a four-starter that they can rely on. Yeah, I feel like this is the first time, if not ever, at least in recent history, where we've had not just one but two bullpen games in the World Series game. So I mean, I think that's kind of crazy to think about how the game has kind of changed in a way in that regard. But yeah, I mean, this is over, but obviously early. I mean, I feel like in a way you'd rather have it be early. Like any loss, you'd rather have it be. I guess it's kind of a debate, but you'd rather have it be early, or would you rather have it lose like on a walk off? I mean, I feel like I'd rather have it be over early in this case, but either way, an L is an L. But then the Magic Clippers first half under hit pretty easily, 31 points combined in the first quarter, so they needed 80 plus in the second quarter. They combined for 66 in the second quarter, so kind of close. But I mean, I was keeping track of it the whole way, and it was never in doubt by like halfway through the first quarter. I think it was 18-13 Magic in the after the first quarter, I believe. I think Paul George, Kawhi, and Westbrook were 0 for 12 together in the first quarter. So that was pretty smooth sailing. So obviously, I'll take a 1-on-1 day, in a small slate, coming off a 5-1 weekend and all that. So all is well. But I guess now we'll get into the best bets for today. So, Korea, you have an MLB and college football play that you can get into.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna keep it simple. I don't really have that much. Obviously, we're kind of dwindling down on the MLB season, and then obviously only two games in the college football slate, and then I'm going to be doing something with the NBA season coming soon. As soon as the World Series potentially wraps up, whether it is tonight or as soon as the season wraps up, potentially, I'm going to be doing a little surprise for you guys. Just might as well spoil it. I'm going to be doing a ladder challenge for the NBA. We're going to make 3 to 4 leg entries, potentially, plus around 100. Doubling your money each time. Maybe just a little fun because I'm not I'm not the greatest with the NBA, but I always like to have a little fun and I tried it this morning and I made my first one for myself, and I'll see how it goes on a little test run today. So I'll be introducing to you. I'll introduce to you guys as soon as MLB season is done. But tonight, I think it is going to end. Speaking of that, I think the Rangers are going to win this. I'm taking them on the full game money line today. I don't care what the odds are. I'm just taking them. This team is undefeated on the road. Like seriously, you have to think it's crazy to say that the Rangers have not lost a road game this postseason. It's crazy. And right now it's in a pick 'em at -110. Right now, obviously, it's Nathan Eovaldi and Zach Gallen. It's the rematch of Game 1, and you want to back Zach Gallen in this home spot, obviously, in terms of how he's done, because he is a lot better at home versus on the road. We've seen how his splits are. He struggles on the road, and obviously, Game 1, you were obviously going to lean the Rangers just because of the fact that he does struggle on the road. But now it's a winner go home situation. Your back's against the wall. What do you do? And I feel like yesterday was just the sign telling. And I do want the D-backs to win, obviously, because I do have the D-backs winning in 7. But that's they're gonna have to pull off one of the biggest miracles I've seen in the World Series if they're gonna do that. But I do think Nathan Eovaldi, does close it out tonight. He has been one of the better pitchers for this Rangers staff this whole postseason, and Zach Gallen, his splits against pretty much the top of that order are not great at all. I think Simeon's almost hitting 500 against Zach Gallen. Corey Seager obviously hitting 300 plus, and the way they've been hitting the ball recently. I kind of want to back. I don't want to back them, but I just feel like the Rangers are just going to close it out. Obviously, there is maybe a little bit of speculation just because they're on the road versus versus being at home, but being undefeated on the road. I'm going to take that into account. So I do like the Rangers to take that to just close it out tonight. And, I'll have to suffer as another AOS team that is not the Mariners wins a World Series. And it's going to be horrible to hear. But I said to myself, either the Rangers are going to finish this series in 5 or the Diamondbacks are going to win this in 7. And here we are at Game 5 tonight. I feel like the Rangers are going to close it out. Eovaldi has been pretty much lights out on the mound, and I can't trust Zach Gallen against the top of that lineup, even if he is at home. And then I know it's an ugly play because we have two 1-7 teams between Kent State and Akron. I know it's very exciting, but it's a system play. You just got to hear me out. You're taking a visiting resting dog, an underdog, excuse me. So Kent State on the road going to Akron. That's one. They are coming off of their bye, and they opened at +4. I got it at +4.5. That line has moved down to +4. So obviously signs telling that, Kent State is potentially covering that spread tonight. It's going to be an ugly game. And in an ugly game with a low total like this, you definitely want to take, the dog in this spot. It's a Wednesday. It's Wednesday night action. Just take the road team in this spot just to cover. So I like Kent State on the road, and then I like the Rangers just to close it out on the money line tonight to win the World Series. Unfortunately, my two best bets for tonight to kick off November. Ari, I know you said you got a bigger NBA slate. You got three best bets today. What are your three bets to begin the November NBA slate?
Yeah, so three pretty pretty short spreads. First, Rockets. I think they're going to get their first win at home today. They've been pretty competitive for the most part in most games so far this season. They have 5 guys averaging in double figures, so they've at least been scoring. And then, interestingly enough, they're hosting the Hornets, who started off 3 games at home. So this is their first road game all year for the Hornets. I mean, not all year. It's still early in the season. But, most teams have had both the home and away games. So the Hornets have their first away game here in Houston. Houston hasn't won a game. I like them to get their first win of the season here at home against a Hornets team that's playing their first game away from home. So we'll start off with that and then go to the Jazz. And I mentioned it a couple of episodes ago that I'm just going to keep fitting Memphis without Ja as much as I can. Utah, they're 1-3, but they've had a tough schedule, and they've lost to the Nuggets, Suns, Kings, and they beat the Clippers. So they've faced 4 playoff teams so far, and now they get Memphis. That's kind of in shambles right now without Ja. They haven't won a game yet this season. The Jazz only won 1 game, but like I said, they've had a tough schedule. So I like Utah here in this spot. And then the Nuggets they picked up right where they left off last year when they won the NBA Finals. They are on the road in Minnesota, but I haven't been overly impressed by Minnesota to this point. And the Nuggets have pretty much either dominant, maybe not the final score in all their games, but they've pretty much led all their games by a good amount. So I like these 3. I'm probably going to parlay the 3 on the money line. They're all like -130, -135. Like parlay them on the money line just to be safe, over the spread. But I'll probably be single. I'm not on them officially, but I like these 3 a lot. And then I may parlay the 3 on the money line, and then maybe take them all individually on the spread or not. But I'm at least going to take them all on the money line together. Again, they're all, at -2, -2.5. They're all kind of in the -130, -135 range. So I like them on the spread, but I like them also just to win straight up, obviously. And obviously that's always going to be safer, of course. So, but yeah, these are my 3 best bets for today.
Yeah, you mentioned it. First go to the Rockets, and the Hornets. They have struggled this year, and even though the Rockets haven't run a game, I do like them in the spot -2.5 at home, and I do think they get the win. So I like your idea of parlaying all these 3 teams on the money line. I also do think the Jazz get the win. Look, they don't got my man John Blicki right now. They don't got my man John Blicki. And he has been the main reason as to why this team has struggled all season. And you mentioned the Jazz have pretty much had one of the hardest schedules to start. The first 4 games facing all playoff teams. I like the Jazz in this spot. And you mentioned the Nuggets, and the Nuggets obviously pretty much the consensus best team in the West right now. They haven't pretty much left a beat off from when they won the NBA Finals back in June. I like this team to win, especially on the road today in this spot against the Timberwolves. So I like those 3. And then I was gonna just mention my 4 best my 4 legs for the for my first day of the ladder challenge. You can find that. I'm also going to send a screenshot of that. You can find that on the Twitter as well. Twitter down below, that is AKP Sports Talk, as Ari is typing that up. I will be sending a screenshot out there of the first day. It's only come out to plus 164, so nothing too big, and it's all on the points. I'm taking all these 4 guys to score. I'm taking Robert Williams, taking him to get 5 points today, tonight. Robert Williams, he is averaging a little over 7, and he's facing the Pistons. And obviously, the Pistons more of a defensive team with Jalen Duren inside. And Jalen Duren, I mean, you talk about a man who has burst on the scene. Jalen Duren, obviously, him and alongside Cade Cunningham have pretty much been the 2 lead guys. But I like Robert Williams to get 5. Excuse me. 17. 5. I need him to get 5 points tonight. I believe the next leg. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot. I don't have the screenshot on me right now, but I know I'll find it somewhere, and I'll post the rest of the plays on Twitter. I do know that one of the plays is Robert Williams. We're taking him for 5 points, and you can find that 4 legs on AKP Sports Talk along with the best bets. We're gonna do a recap of tonight. As best bets. For me, it's just 2 simple ones. I'm taking the Rangers on the money line. I think they get the job done tonight. I think they win. I think the World Series is over. I think they ride off into the sunset with Corey Seager and all those clowns down in Texas. And then the offseason is finally here. All Mariner fans have been waiting for. I like them at minus 110. And then I like Kent State to cover this in this spot on the road. It's an ugly game, I know. But you take a visiting, resting dog in this spot. That line has moved down to plus 4.5 to plus 4. I got it at plus 4.5. I will definitely take it at plus 4. It's going to be an ugly game. Obviously, both of these teams trying to find their second win of the college football season. But I do like Kent State to cover. And then Ari's best bets for tonight's NBA slate. He said he would potentially parlay all 3 of these on the money line and then potentially take all 3 separately on the spread. But he's looking at the Rockets minus 2.5. He said he's taking them on the money line. He's looking at the Jazz minus 2. He's taking them on the money line. And then the Nuggets minus 2.5, also taking them on the money line as well. Those are our best bets. That's a 5-0 card. I will also have that ladder challenge 4-leg. It's around plus 164 parlay posted on our Twitter as well. But that's going to do it. Tomorrow, don't forget, we will come back with another college football and NFL slate. Obviously, Thursday Night Football tomorrow between the Tennessee Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to have our best bets for that game, along with potentially some more NBA. Even though it's going to be a smaller slate, a lot more options for us tomorrow. So that's going to be it for another AKP Sports Talk episode. That's Ari. I'm Korea. Don't forget, you can visit all of our plays and see all of our plays on AKP Sports Talk, the Twitter down below, where you can find my first day of the ladder challenge if you guys do wish to tail. But if you guys don't, that's okay. Like I said, I'll be introducing more of these plays, as I get more practice and, as the MLB season does wrap up. But that's going to do it for us. That's Ari. I'm Korea. We'll see you guys tomorrow for our best bets. See you guys later.